to the Friday Night Franchise. And tonight I have a franchise of a film that I have been watching since I've been 7 years old. And finally I've been waiting until about now, however many years I've been watching Godzilla. This is what I'm reviewing, is Godzilla. However many years I've been watching Godzilla to finally see a good Godzilla movie. A great Godzilla movie. An outstanding Godzilla movie. Probably the best Godzilla movie ever made. So what I'm doing here is I'm sort of going backwards this time. Rather than going forwards like I usually start at the beginning of a franchise and work my way to the last film, I'm going to start with the newest film and kind of work my way back to the last film. And I'm not going to do the original 1953? 1955? I can't remember what year it came out. One right now because I haven't seen it in such a long time and I would like to do it justice and sit down because I do have the Criterion version of that movie and it has the American version of it and it has the Japanese version of it. And one of these days I'll get on here and review it, but for now I'm just going to be reviewing the new film that just came out, plus the last one that came out before that, and then the wonderful movie that everybody loves with Matthew Broderick.
Stop it. Get some help.
Alright, so like I said, I grew up watching Godzilla. I mean, Godzilla and King Kong, for me, were the monsters of my childhood. Back when I was growing up, I don't know if they even still do this, but on Saturday mornings, they had Saturday morning matinee movies, and they would always show 3 movies, I think starting at like noon or something. And that's how I found out about Godzilla. That's how I found out about King Kong and Frankenstein and Dracula and Abbott Costello. And that's where I found out about Jerry Lewis. And they used to show all this stuff on Saturday mornings when I was a kid. And I loved it. I don't know if I sat through all 3 movies, but you know, usually I was there watching something on Saturday afternoon. And it was usually a monster film. I don't know why they used to show those all the time. But, you know, that's where I first was kind of introduced to Godzilla. Now, back then, Godzilla movies were pretty goofy, and if you watch them now as an adult, you're like, what? Why is Godzilla flying through the air doing a drop kick? Back then, when you were 7, 8 years old watching this stuff, it was great. And it was great entertainment, and it was fun, and it is still kind of goofy fun. I mean, they're not horrible. Some of them are better than others. The Mecha Godzilla one is really, really good. It's an excellent movie. King Kong versus Godzilla, yeah, that was okay. Even though King Kong was really bad in the movie. But, I mean, obviously it was guys in costumes fighting over a big fake city. I mean, anyway, you know what Godzilla is. And that's the thing. Everybody knows what Godzilla is. And when the last Godzilla came out, in the trailer, I saw the trailer, I was like, oh my god, they're finally going to do it. They're finally going to make an incredible Godzilla movie. This is it. This is what I've been waiting for. It looks amazing. I mean, I'm trying to forget the Matthew Broderick one and focus on this one. It's going to be awesome. So, we went to go see it, and my thoughts on that were, you'll have to wait until next week, because I'm not going to talk about that right now. So, my thoughts on this one going into it is, okay, are they going to screw it up again? Are they going to show Godzilla in this movie? You know, are they it's called Godzilla? I mean, is he even going to be in the movie this time? Or are they just going to name him, mention him in the movie and not show him? The answer is no, no, and no. Okay, right off, I can tell you, this is probably, it's not even probably, this is my favorite monster movie I have ever seen. It is that unbelievably good. Now, if you're going to this movie not expecting to see monster fights or going in there expecting to see some sort of human drama, don't even bother. Don't even go to the movie. This is a monster movie. A monster movie, and that's what it finally gave us fans, is a freaking monster movie. I'm spitting everywhere. And I wasn't expecting to get blown out of my seat. But 10 minutes in this movie, you know what? I was blown out of my seat. I was holding on to it, and the wind was blowing my hat back, and I was like, oh my god. Okay, I'll try to calm down here. Alright, so this is actually Godzilla, and Godzilla is fighting most of the classic monsters that you have seen over the years, and they put them all in here. It's like the person who made this movie was a fan of those films. Finally, we get somebody who understands monsters, who understands kaijus, who understands big monster fights, who wants to show it to you and not hide it behind a building or hide it behind a door or show it in the background on a TV somewhere, or just have it bad CG that looks like a big bearded lizard. I mean, this is freaking Godzilla. And I would say that they finally perfected the look of Godzilla. He looks awesome in this film. He looked awesome in the last movie, but they never showed him because I think they were afraid of the fans' reactions or what they're going to see. And that, I don't understand. I really didn't understand that. It's like, why wouldn't they show him? Looks so cool. But you finally get to see him in this movie. You get to see him a lot in this movie. This movie starts at like a 15, and it continues at a 15 through the entire film. It never lets up. It never stops. It's constant monster battles. And again, if you don't want to see that, then stay away, go see Aladdin or something. I don't care. You know, this is for us. This is for us fans. This is for the fans of Godzilla. This is the fans for monster movies. This is what we've been wanting forever. And thank you. Thank you for giving it to us. The story is actually really good too. Besides all the monster fights, there's a good story. So we have actually some really good actors in here. And the weird thing about this is it actually brings back all the actors from the last Godzilla movie, which, I mean, it's a sequel to that one, obviously. But it was weird. I guess I wasn't expecting it. The main guy who, I can't think what his name is now in the film, like he was like Japanese guy, he kind of respected Godzilla. He knew he was one of the titans. He was one of the old gods, and he respected him, even though everybody else wanted to kill him. And I loved his character. His character was one of my favorite characters in the movie, and I'm so glad they brought him back. And they brought back a lot of the characters from the first film, which ended up surprising me. But they added a bunch of new characters, which were even better. So the one character they added, and I don't know what her name is, but she played Norman Bates' mother in the Bates Motel, and she is a spectacular actress. She's so good, and she's great in this film. She plays a really interesting, cool role in this movie, and I really like her character a lot in this film. And her daughter in the film is from Stranger Things. And I haven't seen Stranger Things in, what, a year or two? I can't... Her name was like number 9, I think her name, number 7, number 9. I don't remember what they called her. She was a number in Stranger Things. I should know it because, yeah, but I don't. So you know what I'm talking about, the girl who can move things with her mind. She was in this movie, and she was great in it. She wasn't in it a lot, and they didn't really give her a whole lot to do in the movie. But the scenes she was in, she did a pretty good job. But the star of this film are the kaiju, are the monsters, there are the gods, the elder ones, or whatever you want to call them. That was the main story. That was the main stars of this film, as it should be, as it always should be. And they put them right front and center in this film, and I could not have been any happier to see that finally in a Godzilla film, to make Godzilla the star of the movie. It's like, what have these people been thinking all these years? I mean, we don't want to see interacting with people. We want to see monster fights, and that's what they gave us. And they gave us a lot of monster fights. And the CG of these creatures, it was, again, it was a dream come true. It really was. It was a dream of mine to see these creatures realized in brand new CG that they can do. It's not really brand new, but you know, the CG they can do nowadays, to see them realize what they would look like if they were real. And that's what they did in this. Oh my God, it was amazing. Now I've actually gone back and watched almost all the Godzilla movies because I'm a big fan of Svengoolie, and Svengoolie shows them like at least once a month, one of the Godzilla films. So going into this, I knew all the monsters, and that was a lot of fun for me. It's like I knew Mothra. I knew what Mothra did, and I knew, you know, what he does, and I knew Monster Zero. And I knew, you know, I think they actually had the monster that was from the last Godzilla in this, and they had another one from, I think it was Skull Island that came in here. So I don't think those were classic monsters. I think those were some of the newer original ones. But the classic stuff they showed in here, oh, Rodan was in this. Can't forget about Rodan. Yeah, everything that was in this was just wow. And some of these shots that they framed, I was just like, oh my God. I literally, in movie theater, I was like, that's how much I was loving it. And it was hard not to cheer. It was hard not to go, yeah! You know, when you're sitting there watching it with a whole movie theater of people. But I really wanted to. I wanted to sit there and cheer. I wanted to scream. I wanted to holler because I was loving it from the first frame to the last frame. That's how good this movie was. And a lot of the images in the film, especially of Monster Zero, oh my God. I mean, if you've ever seen the original Godzilla, Monster Zero was a three-headed dragon, I guess is what it was. And he looked really terrible in the original. He had strings holding up his heads, and he was a puppet. He was a puppet, basically. They were puppeteering him and everything. And this one, like I said, when you actually get to see him realized as a real monster, it's mind-blowing. And it's a tribute, again, a tribute to us as the fans saying, okay, we're not going to mess this one up. This is for you guys. Watching all these movies recently, they even bring back the fact that in the original Godzilla films with Monster Zero I remember, I haven't seen it in such a long time, but if I remember right, it was something to do with he was on Mars and there was Martians and he was killing people on Mars or something. So the Martians came down to Earth and they kidnapped Godzilla and they took him up to Mars to fight Monster Zero. And they mentioned in the movie something about him not being from this Earth. And I love that. I was like, oh my God, they're even talking about his origin story, the original origin story of this month. It was just so cool. So this is how you start out the summer films. Even though it's not technically summer yet, this is how you do it. This is the big film for me so far this year. And it's my favorite movie so far this year. And you're like, what? What? It's your favorite? Yes, I even liked it more than Endgame because, again, this is something I've been waiting to see since I've been 7 years old. And they gave it to me. They gave me everything I could ever possibly want in this movie. And I have no complaints. I have zero complaints about how great this film was. And you know what else is great? The soundtrack. Oh my God, the soundtrack in this movie. it's epic. It's actually by Bear McCready, who, if you don't know him, he does a lot of the stuff on TV. He does like The Walking Dead and stuff. And actually today I'm thinking about going out and trying to find the soundtrack. And maybe I'll bring it to you and review that for you. But wow, the music in this movie was as epic and as big as the kaijus were. And it was like, whoa, whoa. Okay, I'm getting a little excited now. I gotta calm down. So overall, I guess you can already guess what I'm giving this movie. It's gonna be the... Whoa! Yeah, it was that good. It was that freaking awesome. And as of now, it's going to be hard for anything to come out this year. Even Star Wars, it's going to be hard to top my love for this film. I love this movie. I couldn't tell you any more than that. I love this movie. And if you're somebody like, oh, they made another Godzilla movie, blah, 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 I'm not going to go see it because the other ones were so... Go see it. If you are remotely any fan of Godzilla, go see this movie. Go see it.